Chapter 4: God, Creator, Nature, and Life. Before I get into the next two chapters, please be advised. The next two will sting. Like I said before, we will not be digging into religion, however, we will be discussing creation and a creator. When approaching this subject, it must be delicate. The problem I see with most people is they desperately want to share their faith, which they think holds the ultimate truth. Instead of sharing the thought of creation, practical wisdom, etc., they immediately share their rules, regulations, and practices in order to please a God in which they serve. Apparently, each religion has their own rules to please their own God. Rules, regulations, restrictions, and principles. And God forbid anyone outside of the religion questions one of the practices. Like, you don't celebrate Christmas? No, neither does more than half the population. When joining a religion, you are taught to believe what is being taught without any doubt, hence indoctrination. You have to do as they say and follow their rules. It is harsh, yet lovable treatment produced by pastors, priests, nuns, elders, etc. You are forced to join. That is if you want to build a friendship or marry within the religion, attend events or gatherings, etc. Now, when I say forced, I mean with no aggression to the physical body. However, edited morals are aggressively pronounced thoroughly through meetings and gatherings. So, whether you are forced through physical harm or enforced through manipulation, hence indoctrination, it will be by force. Once you become baptized, you are now initiated, thus becoming a brother or sister. Shortly after continuing your endeavors with the religion, somewhere down the line you may disagree with some of the practices and may even want out. You then become shunned and or disfellowshipped, not needed and dismissed. The reason being is they feel as though you become mentally ill and do not want you to rationalize their views with sheeple that might begin to question everything they have been taught. This would be catastrophic. That is, if the money stops coming in. This becomes a problem in like every business or religion. Once the money stops coming in, it's over. Do not mess with any religious organization's money, or you will pay the consequences. Not by God, however, by man. From my understanding, God is the mightiest of the mightiest. What I cannot understand is God's beginning. I am sure that no one can look me in the eyes and say they know. I am very curious to know how this all happened. Of course I do. Who doesn't? My focus until the day comes is to just get the best understanding of what's happening here. Why are we in this mess and who is responsible? Let me brief you on my understanding. In the beginning, like any builder, engineer, etc., you're going to need to find a leveled foundation to start with the blueprints. All buildings are founded on a leveled foundation. So like Eric Dubé says, and I quote, "Why in the name of common sense," end quote, would an intelligent creator plan such an incredible world on a ball? Why does this make sense to anyone? I understand it is what you have been taught, and you probably won awards for acing their science fiction, but unfortunately that is exactly what it was. As intelligent human beings that hold stock in religion, we are told to act as God would act. As intelligent human beings, we are taught that we are God, and as gods, we should be living in paradise, capable of doing right and wrong, but dominating the wrong by doing right. As intelligent human beings, we are taught to be free of any domination and just believe in God without attachment. It is what it is what most people say. And as intelligent human beings, we are taught there is no creator and everything you have been taught through the Bible is a lie. We came from nothing much but a big bang. Interesting. With any of the above statements like be like your God and do what God would do, believe in yourself as a God, or even if there is no God, would any circumstances given whether there is a God or not bring you to think that when building anything you would begin with a ball or a flat plain like piece of paper? You see, our senses tells us these things, and we ignore the facts and run with other facts, with other experiences, and other humans' common sense. Not yours. When driving from New York to Florida or any long trip, do you sense that you are driving vertically up or down and around a ball? Or straight to your destination? Have you even ever thought of that? Or even flying across seas, do you sense that you are flying sideways around a ball? Or whichever relative position we are in? What is truly up and down? You are throwing all your money in on what is said and never proven. My senses tell me that without a doubt there is a creator because of our ability to create. We were manufactured like a car, but in a very mysterious manner. We are perfect in creation and are set to live and breathe and enjoy our lives. The Creator is watching over us because, like any creator who watches and admires their creation, our Creator is doing just that. Come on, people, wake up. If you built a birdhouse, without any doubt, you will stare at it constantly and find excuses to glance at it again. So imagine an entire world. How did this all come to be? Nature and life? Natural life? What is it? And how was it so perfectly designed? I may have some answers to an open mind. I want to share with you how it might have become. Of course, this is all speculation. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I have a general idea from studies and basic knowledge and our God-given common sense. 1. First is obviously the unknown. No one knows, and if they do, it is most likely the ones who control the materials on earth. 2. The Creator made a foundation. One solid, perfect circle-like square. 3. The foundation was laid, being strategically designed to fit its purpose, creating all the pockets from the upcoming waters to meet at the land's then formed mountains. 4. The waters filled the land like a whirlpool and found its level. Once the levels were set, the Creator separated the waters from the waters, making the ocean salt water for saline healing while keeping the inland water fresh for consumption. 5. Next, I can imagine the Creator wanted a place in His region to dwell. The Creator built His home above the land and called it the heavens, what most call the sky. 6. In the heavens, the Creator then realizes with infinite wisdom that not only loneliness encroaches on happiness, but help is needed as well. 7. Helpers of the heavens are created and given ultimate powers like the Creator, but not infinite. Their powers are limited and subject to the Master Creator. 8. The Master Creator now creates a light to see its works at hand, and the conscious entities help produce the light to go over the land beneath. 9. Then the Master Creator said, "Let there be a division between the light and the dark. For when I was creating the land, I needed my infinite light to see the heavy detail of my works at hand. So now the living things to come will be able to see when conscious and aware and may rest when the light leaves to regenerate. The living things to come must regenerate to survive and live in my creation." 10. The Creator now made luminaries with the hands of the heavenly helpers, luminaries in the heaven to detect a cycle of which the living things to come will naturally learn. Instinct will be their programming. Senses will be their programming, all by natural laws tattooed to their hearts and minds. 11. The Creator now planted seeds throughout the land, and millions of vegetation spread upon the lands, which some are divided, but all as one that meets in the middle pole. The seeds were known to the helpers in the heavens. The helpers were taught everything of how everything is, was, and how it is going to be. 12. Once the vegetation was fully grown, which most likely took many, many years, animals were created. We're talking thousands of different species, with the help of our Creator's master worker along with the helpers and companions of the heavens. 13. Once the earth was completed with simple life forms, the Creator wanted a reflection of it to roam its massive expanded land of the inhabited earth. Then the Creator made human in its image. The Creator asked the master worker and helpers to gather around and collectively create these humans to perfection, having high intelligence, allowing these two separate species to name and help cultivate all the living things on earth, placing 2 humans per region of 6 in total, allowing them to grow in numbers to fill the earth. This task probably took decades, if not a century. A human being, like any other living, was made perfectly. The human body is so perfect that it cannot be recreated by any human. A car can easily be reproduced, however, there is a special energy like soul that a human or any living thing carries that is impossible to recreate. A robot, yes, but a human, no. Not even close can a human make a human, the way some humans imagine. It is just impossible, and once again, by all means, prove me wrong. 14. Once the earth was completed with all living things, the Creator felt it was time to compliment the humans for all the hard work they have done. The Creator was preparing to send one of his workers down to deliver a message and instructions on mating and procreation. This was going to be the mothers and fathers of the different races of humans on earth, but something terrible happened. 15. Being that the helpers in the heavens were given tremendous power and free will, many had their disagreements with the Creator. There will always be an employee who thinks they can do the job better, or who think they will fit best to lead the crew. In this case, in the heavens above, one living spiritual being out of all the thinkers went ahead and took action. This one rebelled and challenged the Creator. This was witnessed by all the creation of the heavens which dwell above. The Creator, like a great wise parent, decides not to strike against his child. Instead, the Creator challenges his child to show him with reasoning how it can be done better. The child of the Creator, filled with jealousy and anger, then leaves the sight of the Almighty and heads down to earth. Once on earth, the child of the Creator creeps around trying to see what he can change, manipulate, or do better with. The rebel most likely spent decades trying to find a way to make the natural laws of earth better in his image. The rebel, let's call him Lucifer for namesake. Lucifer has been studying the humans for many, many years by then. The humans he in fact helped create along with the rest of creation. Lucifer knows the human body inside and out. However, free will is unpredictable, and we, as all living things, have it. Being so, as long as you are not living in your mind and living a healthy balance of life with an open mind and taking full advantage of nature, you will be free. Unfortunately, Lucifer was doing his homework and now sees an opportunity to trick one of the humans, which are ignorant by definition and gullible. Besides, humans at this time only knew one rule according to the Creator. You are not to conceive until I command you the day to do so. This was the golden rule because as humans, we have to be ready to start having children, or you can lead a pretty complicated life. This was the golden principle and rule. There are rules everywhere you go, whether suggested or enforced. Rules, principles, call it what you must, they exist, and for good reason. The humans knew right from wrong and did wrong by taking suggestions from someone other than the parent which created them. The human was naturally attracted to the sexual idea and fell short to the trickery. Lucifer knew what the Creator intended for the humans and knew the pleasures that came along with it. So in essence, he most likely persuaded the woman to seduce the man to have sexual intercourse and was curious on what a small human would look like. The woman wanted to have a child, and the man wanted the stress-relieving feeling of ecstasy. It was addictive after the man learned. And when the woman saw that the man was addicted to sexual intercourse, the woman now would take advantage of the man to get what she wants. Without the blessing from the Creator to begin procreation, and without proper instruction to do so, it became a terrible dealing. The Creator, being the wise designer, knew it was bad to have sexual intercourse in children when not properly prepared. 16. The Creator comes to visit its creation of life. When coming to visit one of the humans, the Creator cannot seem to find any of the human in the region it is visiting. This becomes a problem because the humans seem to be hiding from the Creator. When the Creator asked the humans, "Why are you hiding from me?" the humans came out in unity and could not look the Creator in the face. Instead, they looked down at the Creator's feet in shame and began apologizing. The Creator then asked, "What have you done?" The woman reveals herself to the Creator, and the woman is with child pregnant. The Creator, now fueled with anger, exclaims to the humans the consequences that are to come, not because of what the Creator is going to do, but of what the humans have done to themselves. The humans brought this trial upon themselves, and because they were not ready to bear children, they had a very tough life raising them. The man always wanted sex, and the woman used his desire to her advantage. The man would get the sex, and the woman in return would use her body to receive what she wanted, no different from a prostitute. In the meantime, children were being produced. The years and times turned into a mere nation. The Creator had to allow the humans to remain in their mistake because it granted free will and refuses to encroach on its own law. This was the humans' decision, and now the entire earth on which we stand have to suffer the consequences. Although it is not fair for humans in the region, however, they too have to suffer in the long run. And that run is now. Now there's something more than a simple fruit from a tree happening. I can imagine if I built the tower that is standing solid and could do so forever as long as no one touches it or moves a brick. This is a law and rule to not touch it. Why? Because if you do, it will fall, and it would take me years and years to build again, and may even kill you if struck by a brick to the skull. As you walk by every day for years and years, you become extremely attracted to this tower. You see that it stands tall and is beautiful. So beautiful you just want to touch it and even take a small piece of it as a souvenir. One day you are standing in front of it and someone comes along and begins to challenge you. Challenge your discipline towards rules and principles. The now seemingly to be a troublemaker convinces you that the tower deserves a human touch to it. Besides, look how tall the tower stands. What is one little brick going to do? Go on, take it, and I will keep a lookout. The curious human then runs on over and takes a brick from the bottom which was loose. The curious person thanks the troublemaker and runs into the woods. Off he goes. It's been about 3 days now, and suddenly the ground rumbles, as though there is an earthquake. The curious human with a pumping heart begins to run to the side of the tower. The human's guilty instinct tells the human what has happened without even looking. The human approaches the site on which the tower used to stand, and the tower was destroyed. And yes, its creator was the opposite of happy. So it can make sense that a spiritual being, some call Lucifer, would now see an opportunity while the woman is alone, which he had been studying for years before making any attempt, would do such a thing. Remember, these heavenly beings are most intelligent, for they were made by an intelligent creator, then summoned to help create you. The opposer approaches the woman and influenced her to do something that she is not supposed to do. What is that exactly? We don't know for certainty. Only a fruit is mentioned. However, this can be a metaphor for something greater than we know. The woman fell into temptation. She had an urge and did not fight it, because of influence. Forget about which sex started what. The point here is the influence the human followed. The human knew it was wrong to do, because of the gut feeling we humans feel with our senses. It is programmed in us to sense such wrong things to do. Hence a guilty feeling. Many humans enjoy this uncomfortable feeling and thrive off of the adrenaline, where the feeling itself becomes addicting. Conscious folk tend to stray away from dishonesty. On the contrary, conscious folk that are fully aware knowingly being dishonest are not only psychopaths, but are the main causes of the trials here on earth. This rebellion has caused this business to fail terribly. If only the student would have listened and not let jealousy and envy encroach in his mind, then this earth would have been at maybe 1 billion humans now and still growing for a long-length history, which time would be irrelevant. But now we must reset the clocks and possibly start over from the beginning of technology. Not the Stone Age, but where we can take it slow to a point where people can understand this simple and natural science. Remember, according to studies, the human population was only at 3 billion in 1914. That is thousands of years to be at only 3 billion. Now, according to census and statistics, which I cannot prove for myself, we are at 7 billion or more. So for thousands of years, we built a population of 3 billion people here on Earth and then skyrocketed our population and increased it by a mere 60% in less than 100 years. The elite makes life confusing because if they made it simple, everyone would be out of a job. Greedy people is the cause of unemployment. The 1% elite will never give up their lavish lives for the sake of everyone on earth having food with a roof over their heads. But that is another story for another book. 17. The creator now tells the opposer, if you feel as though you can do it better, then by all means show me. I grant you all rights to this earth. However, you can only influence the living, not laying a hand on it. If your hand touches any living thing physically, then I will destroy you indefinitely. The metaphorical hands were shaken, and the rest is human history. Side note, if the Creator would have destroyed the opposer, it would have set a negative example. The only way to win the hearts and minds of the heavenly beings and human beings is through patience and perseverance, not force.